Welcome back. In this portion, we're going to talk about labs and actually go through a laboratory activity for you to have an experience and remember what this might look like in an interactive notebook. Let's go ahead and make our entry. Remember that you had skipped a line. If you didn't, that's okay. Just add in Puff Cup Lab. In this lab, your facilitators are going to provide you with a variety of supplies, a task card, and ask you to record some information and answer some questions. For this lab, you will complete it with your table group. Record your data on the left-hand side of your ISN. The teacher will be in charge of timing. Your facilitators will set the timer and let you know when to begin and when to end. Go ahead and create a data table. You've had a chance to read the task card, hopefully. If not, you can pause the video here and read the task card so you know exactly what it is you're going to do, but I will review the instructions here. You should have this next to your notes that you took previously in the other video. And here we're going to take two different surfaces. You may have a table and carpet available. It might be tile and a table, just a variety of surfaces in order to complete the lab. And then below your chart, you'll want to leave some room to answer the questions. Pause the video here while participants create their data table. For the instructions for the Puff Cup Lab, you will design a lab to test how far a cup will travel on different surfaces. You will not be allowed to touch the cup with your hand or the bottle. Measure the distance the cup travels to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. Record your data on the left-hand side of your ISN. Once you've finished the lab, you will answer these two questions. You're welcome to copy these down, but the facilitator should make them available for you on the screen. Facilitators, you can pause the video here until participants have completed the lab. Now that you've completed the lab, take a moment and discuss these in your group if you haven't already. Be prepared to share this out in whole group with your facilitators. I hope you had some fun doing the lab. Now we're going to take advantage of ISN while reading. Literacy across the content area is incredibly important. Being scientifically literate not only means that you're able to read scientific information, but that you're also able to communicate your understanding and rebut ideas when necessary. Let's go ahead and take a look. We need to create two more entries for our ISNs: greenhouse effect activity and your greenhouse effect reading. Go ahead and pause the video here while participants make the entry and pass out the reading to participants to get started. Much like the other reading, we're going to take this information and apply it in a visual way. You're going to read the pages over greenhouse effect, highlighting and underlining or making any notes to yourself, such as annotating in the margins, and trim the reading to go into your ISN. Glue or tape the first page on the right-hand side. This is information from your teachers that they need you to know and be able to digest in order to create the next piece of information. You'll need to fold the pages. You can do this accordion style or just fold it in neatly so that they lay flat when your journal is closed. Take a moment and complete the assignment now and pause the video here until participants are complete. Now the fun part, to show your thinking. On the left-hand side, practice the kinds of interactions you want your students to make after they read. What we mean by this is create a visual to show your thinking about the information that's found in the greenhouse effect. You can use matte pencils or even markers to create your drawing. You may have additional scratch paper available or a notebook that you want to practice in before adding it to your journal. But go ahead and create some kind of a visual to help the teachers, your facilitators, and other learners, other teachers in your session, to see your thinking. Go ahead and pause the video here until everyone has had a chance to create their new visual of the reading greenhouse effect. Hopefully you have some great drawings and have had some wonderful conversation about how to use a strategy like this in your classroom. This is one student's way of showing what the reading was talking about. If you notice, there's graphs with labeling, there's the drawing to show basically what's happening on Earth, the actual greenhouse effect itself, an explanation of what the greenhouse is in student words, the gases that are involved, and some additional vocabulary terms that they should know. Here's another rendition of the same reading, different student. So this is how they understand the information and the visual that will help them remember. Some other things that you can pull out of visuals are misconceptions or any kind of information that you may think may be incorrect thinking on the student side. So seeing a student draw a green house, maybe they're taking it in the literal sense. The best way to find out what the student was really thinking once you see something like this is to just talk to them and ask them some great questions. So what about vocabulary? The old way of assign and define is really not effective. Helping students to utilize the words in a way that help them understand is actually the best way. Let's go ahead and take a look at a strategy that allows students to work with vocabulary. Got a couple more entries for you. Ecology vocab cards will go on the left-hand side, and your ecology vocab matching sheet will go on the right-hand side. Facilitators, go ahead and hand these out to your participants, and once everyone has a copy, you can resume the video for more instructions. In this activity, once you've completed the matching that your facilitators have handed out to you, tape a Ziploc bag to the left-hand side and record the vocab cards in your table of contents, if you haven't done so already. On the side of the index card, write the vocabulary word. On the other side of the index card, draw pictures and/or write short statements that show your understanding of the word. When you're finished, find your waxing crescent buddy and share your vocabulary cards. Make any additions that you want to make. Pause the video here and allow participants to complete the task and meet up with their waxing crescent buddy to exchange ideas. Once participants have returned to their seats, you can resume the video. Next, you're going to do a vocabulary web. After you've discussed your cards with your buddy, complete a vocabulary web with the same words on your next left-hand assignment. Make sure you record Ecology Vocabulary Web and the correct page number in your table of contents. Pause the video here while participants create this web. It can be under the cards that you put on the left-hand side of the sheet that you're on as well, if you want to save paper. Otherwise, continue as noted. Last but not least, assessment. Assessment does not have to be a difficult task for the teacher. Here are some general ideas to help you assess student notebooks. You want to use a holistic approach. Grading every little detail will take you hours, unless it's something that you feel that you really need to take a close microscopic look at. You're going to add positive comments to use and stickers and post-it notes in the student notebook. To ensure accountability, you can have students allowed to use journals on quizzes and some tests. This encourages them to take notes and be very diligent about the things that they're writing down in their notebooks. You can even use peer evaluations. Of course, it's a good idea to include a rubric that defines standards with detail or thoroughness, so students have a guide of what to look for. This might be a secondary rubric, so if you're high school or middle school, I don't recommend using this particular rubric, but this gives you a full scope of ideas of what you can look for, from the table of contents to how the pages are numbered, quality of the work, the science content, scientific drawings, daily entries, and time management. All things to be considered when you're looking at interactive notebooks at the secondary level. Your facilitator should have some rubrics to hand out to you, and it may be two-sided, one with the elementary side and the other with the secondary side. Both have great ideas when looking for things for the student notebook to grade. Again, don't make this a difficult task for yourself. Really think about your time and how much time you want to dedicate to grading. So let's practice. You're going to assess your first quarter buddies journal. Use Post-its to make any notes you would like. Remember that you want to use this opportunity to practice what you will do with student work. Facilitators, go ahead and pause the video here, and once you see that participants have met with their first quarter buddies journal and had a chance to exchange ideas using sticky notes, you can go ahead and resume the video once they've returned to their seat. Pause the video here and discuss these questions in whole group. Once questions have been discussed with the facilitators, you may resume the video. Other things to think about are how you're going to manage your journals. Pause the video here and discuss any additional items that may not be on the list. Hopefully you had some time to think about how to manage the journals. These are all really good points. And maybe you had some additional thoughts. How to handle moves-ins and absentees. Are you going to make copies? Will you have a student notebook available for them to look at when they come in? Lots of different teachers handle this lots of different ways. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Journaling will make a difference. Students are actively engaged, thinking and communicating as you've experienced yourself during the training. You now have some ownership of your own journal and something to share with your students upon returning to class. And best of all, you can modify it and find ways that work best for you and your students. This is our final reflection and the end of our video. Take a moment and, on a left-hand side page, reflect on these questions posed above. Use the sentence stems below and be sure to share these things with your facilitators. Thank you for participating and have a great day.